Good evening. We are back from closed session and ready to begin our regular meeting. First off is the oath of office. Dr. Marshall. We're all going to go together.
Okay, we need Anthony Pereira, Marlene Smith, Anahi Rodriguez, and Ray Martinez. You need to come forward, please. Stand right here. Right here. That's right here, please. Okay, I want you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which that I'm about to enter. Ladies and gentlemen, your Board of Education. That's it.
All right, next is roll call. Mark?
Ms. Benton, I'm here. Ms. Goen. Here. Mr. Martinez. Here. Mr. Munoz. Here. Mr. Pereira.
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
And Celeste, are you here as well?
No, that's
This is
Kayla.
not Celeste?
That's Kayla.
This is Kaylin.
They switched on us.
Okay, Kaylin, are you here as well?
Yes.
Okay, all are present.
Great. Next is the pledge, and we'll have our new board member, Anahi, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next is the approval of the agenda, and we do have some corrections and changes here. So, in item 1C, closed session, item C2, there was a misprint in the location of the student number 551312 is listed as a Pacheco High student, but that student is a Los Banos High School student. So make that correction. Also, on item G, it does say 2019-20 school calendars, but it is recommended the board declare their attempt to adopt the 18-19. That was a typo. That should have been, of course, the 19-20 school calendar. So change that. Also, it was supposed to, in your packet, was supposed to have San Luis High School's calendar, and that was San Luis High School Crossroads calendar, and that was left out of the packet. So that is in front of you now. So you have two calendars approved tonight when we get to that item, and that is the K-12 calendar and also the alternative high school calendars, alternative ed calendars. On item XD2 in the consent calendar, that item was missing page 1 of the agreement. We only had page 2 and 3 of the agreement, so page 1 is in front of you here to be included with that item. And then on item E7, in the what we call the BRM, which is the board reference material, it lists the teacher going to St. Louis, Missouri. And I looked it up and there isn't a St. Louis anywhere, so that's actually going to St. Louis. It says St. Louis everywhere else, but except in the BRM, it does say that teacher's going to St. Louis, so they're not going to St. Louis, it's actually St. Louis. So those are the corrections that I have. Dr. Marshall, do you have anything else?
Nothing else.
All right. So, need a motion? Got a motion by Ms. Benton, seconded by Ms. Smith to approve the agenda as corrected and amended. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it is carried. Next item is election of officers. Dr. Marshall.
Sure. At this time, we'll take nominations for the office of president.
You're
Right.
chairing that, so it's your call.
Right, so well, I've said, we're taking nominations. Do we have someone being recommended for president?
Yes. To keep with the continuity of our board and our school district, I nominate Anthony Pereira for president. He's been both a teacher and president of the LBTA and has had the CSBA presidential training. And I believe that he understands the inner working of what it'll take to make our district run successfully.
I'll second that.
I also nominate Ray Martinez, Board President.
Okay.
I second that.
All right, we have any more nominations? You gonna say something?
All right, so I nominate Ms. Smith.
Okay, we have any more? We have 3 nominations on the table, so what we're gonna do,
There was no second
She
for,
second?
wasn't seconded.
Second. I'll second that.
okay, so Mr. Munoz is seconded. So as I said earlier, there are 3 nominations on the table. And I guess the way we'll do this is by show of hands, as far as who's gonna get the vote. Mr. Pereira, Anthony Pereira, show of hands, please. Mr. Martinez? Ms. Smith?
you can't
Okay,
vote
so,
twice.
Twice.
Right. So, Mr. Pereira, you've been elected president by your peers.
All right, well, thank you. Moving on. Oops, I turned myself on. Election of the vice president. I'd like to nominate Mark Benton for that position.
I'll second that.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Smith. Anybody got a second?
No second? All right.
No second?
All right, got a second? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, then I declare nominations are closed. We'll follow the same process by show of hands. All those in favor of Mark Benton becoming vice president, raise your hand. All those in favor of Marlene Smith, raise your hand. All right, you have elected Marg Benton as your vice president. All right, office of clerk, taking nominations. Megan?
I nominate Marlene Smith. I'll second that.
Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, then I declare nominations are closed. All those in favor for Marlene Smith for clerk, raise your hand. And that's it. Marlene is now clerk. All right. Secretary to the board is set in Ed Code, and it is always the superintendent. So I'll take a motion and a second to make it legal.
I'll make the motion.
Benton and Martinez did the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Dr. Marshall has been duly elected as secretary of the board. All right. Before we go any further, whoever is close, oh, Joe, you're closest to the thermostat. Crank that puppy. It is really hot in here. Yeah. Thank you. Item B, statement of facts. That shows our name, address, and other pertinent information. It goes to the Secretary of State. Need a motion? Go, motion by Ms. Benton, seconded by Mr. Martinez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried. All right, signature on warrants. It is a resolution naming those people who can sign the checks. Any questions or discussion? Motion? Got a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Smith. It is a roll call vote. Tina?
Ms. Benton?
Yes.
Ms. Goen?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez? Mr. Munoz? Ms. Rodriguez? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We're done with the busy work. Stuff that you got to do every December. All right, recognition and introductions. Dr. Marshall.
I'd like to take this opportunity this evening to recognize Dennis Arias. Come forward, please, Dennis. For 21 years of service to the school district. In basic, what it says is to honor your service. This is from the Los Banos Unified School District. Serve with distinction on a Los Banos Unified School District governing board for 21 years, 1997 to 2018, with thanks and appreciation for your service to the students of Los Banos, December 13th, 2018. Thank you. We're not finished. We have the mayor of Los Banos here this evening. He's going to come up, Mike Villalta. We have something for you as well.
You know, Dennis, you remember many nights I was on the other side. So it's a pleasure to be on this side and to also recognize my friend Dennis Arias. Dennis and I have, in different forms, have worked together for 21 years, and probably the only other person on the board that's worked that long is, and he's older than I am, Mr. Pereira. No, he's not. But
No, he's not. You have more gray hair than I do.
so, Dennis, it is with great pleasure that I present you with this proclamation, and if I may read it. Dennis Arias is a longtime resident of the city of Los Banos and has been an esteemed member of the Los Banos Unified School District trustee for 21 years. Dennis Arias has served multiple four-year terms and has been president of the board 3 times, vice president twice, and clerk twice. Dennis Arias has provided his knowledge, expertise, and time to serve the children of his community and encourage them to become all that they could be. And he did it with passion, and he did it with grace. Throughout his career, Dennis Arias has displayed exemplary conduct and dedication to promoting educational excellence. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby commend Dennis Arias for his dedicated service and numerous accomplishments in serving the students of Los Banos Unified School District. Dennis, congratulations.
So Dennis, just from my side of the table here, before I was on the board and when I was the teacher and president of the association, we had a lot of lively talks. Some better than others. But we always walked away shaking hands and respected each other's opinions, and they were different at times, and they were right on at other times. And I totally respected that, and you were always a man of your word, which I truly appreciated. When I got to be on the board, we had discussions, sometimes disagreements, and we agreed on most things. But one thing I can say is we could always rely on you whenever we wanted to know something about something that was built in this district 20 years ago when you got here. Your knowledge of the facilities, construction method, I mean, you can say how much, you were able to tell us how much it costs, who built it, what problems we had, what went well, et cetera, on all of our projects that you were involved in. You were a wealth of knowledge, and I hope we still can be able to call you up and pick your brain once in a while, because you had that stuff right on the tip of your tongue at all the times that we ever had discussions about construction and facilities and whatever. And your knowledge and your expertise in that area is something that I always admired about you. And you had some institutional knowledge that you brought to the board, which came in handy quite often. I mean, Marlene and myself are now the senior members of the board of a whole 4 years, going on 5. So we have a really young board here. The institutional knowledge you brought got us a lot of information that we needed at times. So really appreciate that, and you'll sorely be missed. And enjoy your free times.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, if I could just have a minute
You've never taken a minute.
for each year. Anyways, it's been a real pleasure. When I started this 21 years ago, I told everybody, you know what, I'll do this for 1 term, 2 years, 2 terms twice if you like the job I'm doing, and then we'll move on. The way things went, the way things progressed, and the projects we were doing, I had a lot of support. People wanted me to stay, and that's what I did. And I put my heart and soul into this thing. When Paul Aldretti came on board, first superintendent that I helped hire, we went to not just monthly board meetings, but we started some committees. The 2x3 committee is one that I was the original board member on that, where we meet with the city. You heard from Mike Villalta, and we meet once a month. So we know what projects are coming forward, what they're doing in the city. They know firsthand what we're dealing with in the school district. So we can, as a school board member, you're nothing more than a puppet to the city council. They can either take your information and make this a better place in education for all of us, or they can say, you know what, guys, we're going to do our own thing and build these houses and not worry about a thing, and we're going to move forward. Well, that's not the case with our present mayor and the council that we've been working with in the past. Now, along those lines, as things went on, we saw a need for construction projects. Everybody's behind on construction projects. So as a board at that time, there were 3 of us that were appointed to support the board in putting together mitigation agreements with our largest developers, Anderson Homes and Ranchwood. And it was countless hours, days, months, and I believe just short of 2 years before we put the 3 of us put the deal together for the board. And we now in Los Banos for the last, I believe, 11 plus years, collect over $10,000 more per new home than what level 2 fees allow you to legally collect. We were challenged in court way back at the beginning. They upheld the decision, the judge upheld the decision, and now we have 13 or 14 of our developers here in town that have joined forces and are paying that mitigation agreement. To my knowledge, as of last year at the convention, the CSBA convention that I went to, we are the only school district in California that has overrode SB 50 and are collecting money over and above level 2 fees. So that is something we all need to be proud of here in our community. And remember, when you do stuff as a board member, you're not an individual. It doesn't matter who swings the gavel. You're not an individual. You work as a board. So if you're part of a subcommittee, you are working for the current board, and they put their trust in you to do the right thing. So keep that in mind as you move forward. Your number one goal as a board member is these kids that we represent. Give them the best education that you can. You don't need to respond to any special interest group. And that's probably should be one of your main concerns, is that as a board member, somebody is going to make deals or support a specific group for the wrong reasons. Our job as a board, your job, is to give these kids the best education possible that you can, living within the guidelines that Sacramento sets up, which sometimes are, as you've heard me in the past, pretty shaky at best. But we have a balanced budget. We have a lot of employees. When I started, we had a $132 or $3 million budget. $32 or $3 million budget. Now we're at $130 plus million budget. We've more than doubled the number of kids. We've graduated over 7,000 students since I started on the school board. Graduation rate is going up, not at an alarming pace where we'd love to see it like everybody else, but we are gradually showing increases. When Paul Aldretti retired and Steve Tejan came on board, the focus was A through G requirements to get these kids into four-year colleges so that they can compete in the markets out there with the best paying jobs. And under his guidance and the board at that time setting policy, that graduation rate of A through G requirements went from a little less than 17% to over 41 last year. So 41% of our graduating seniors have A through G requirements met to go to a four-year university. That's the kind of stuff you want to hang your hats on. And those are the kind of things you want to see with our projects, building schools as you move forward. We just passed a bond. Pay attention to development. Pay attention to that bond money. We do not have to spend all that money. Unless the state has issued you money in the last 30 days, they still owe us over $35.8 million. So if you keep that in mind, and their matching funds is a 50-50 project, which we keep in mind is never 50%. We average about 37 to 38% on those school construction projects. So keep that in mind when you're setting your budgets. But if they owe you $35.5 million and they give you 50% to do a project, you can basically put 50% of that $38.5 million on top of that, which brings you over $50 million that the state actually owes us if they give us the money to start construction. Keep that in mind. Spend that first $23 million and get that grammar school built, and then let's put pressure on them. I don't know if anybody else has sent emails. The only one I've heard back from was Adam Gray, and that was about a month ago, and said, well, we've got it on our radar, and we're going to see what we can do for your district to help speed up the process so we can get the money. But keep those things in mind, and remember, your goal is to graduate these students and give them the best opportunity you can. And your superintendent has the job to assemble the best group of people to accomplish that. And you've heard me say it before. Our teachers, our administrators are second to none. Unless you spend a whole day in the classroom and do it day after day, you have no idea what these people go through with the children they're dealing with. And it's just like playing cards. Every now and then, your superintendent is going to have to shuffle the deck. Pay attention to the information he gives you. Don't listen to special interest groups, and don't listen to hearsay from parents. Listen to your superintendent and ask the right questions, because the people that are assembled, if they are team players, they will move from one position to another to make our school district stronger than what it was yesterday, and that's the goal that you should have moving forward. And I know you're all capable. Just keep that in mind, keep your heads up, and move forward. Listen to your heart and think about the kids. And again, it doesn't matter what color their skin is. Don't listen to Sacramento when they send out a directive that we are suspending and expelling too many African American students in California, so we need to look at creative ways to keep them in school. No, fellas. You need to send them an email back like I did that say, the day I look at the color of that student's skin, you need to ask me to leave our state, because we want to treat them all the same. We want to get them all to be successful. And you're never going to get 100% of everything, because if we were all to be the same, we wouldn't have been made so different. But as a community now, we're putting our faith in those of you that are representing the school district. And hopefully you can learn as you go and not make false accusations to keep your positions. You will do what is correct and take care of our students and our employees at the school district. Thank you for the time served. I appreciate all the time I've spent.
Thank you, Dennis. One of the things you can always count on for Dennis is whenever he speaks, there is a lot of passion in it. Dennis, we're going to miss you. Thanks. All right. Now some recognitions for our students. Spelling Bee. Hi, Paula.
Good evening, everyone. I am having the pleasure tonight to introduce you to some students that have done an outstanding job representing Los Spanish Unified at the county spelling bee. So tonight we have our elementary participants, and we also have junior high participants. So I'm going to start with Henry Miller tonight, and I'm going to ask Jason Waltman to come up and to introduce you to his two spelling bee participants, and he will let you know how they did at the spelling bee.
Good evening, board. Before I announce my students, Miss Yvette Bowles was the one that organized this on my site. She's unable to be here tonight. So without her, she does this every year for our school without extra pay. It's just extra time that she puts in to do this. And when I look at these two students, not only are they great spellers, but man, they are great citizens of my campus and academically just great kids. So first we have Manbir Singh. He got in the top 20 in the spelling bee, so congratulations, Manbir. And we have Natalia Augusto, who was placed 12th in the spelling bee. So congratulations. Both of these students are fifth graders and plan on being there again next year. So thank you.
Okay, congratulations.
Renee, would you like to come up and bring your students? Next, we have Renee Leonard from Los Banos Elementary and her student.
Good evening, board members. I would like to thank Annie Areca. She is my resource teacher. She was the one that helps coordinate our spelling bee, and she does a fantastic job. She couldn't join us tonight. I would also like to recognize Kim Pereira. Kim's back there. Kim was one of the drivers for the spelling bee, and it's kind of hard to get people to volunteer to drive. So it's very nice that she's done this for quite a few years and transported our children safely to and from the spelling bee and worked as a proctor. So yes. I would like to say congratulations to my student, Madison Marion. She placed 11th in the spelling bee overall. She is a 6th grade student, and I believe she's competed 3 years now since I've been there. So a fantastic student that we have at LBE and that we'll miss dearly when she goes on to the junior high next year.
Super. Congratulations. Good job.
And I had Avari Lewis as well. She couldn't be here this evening, but she also placed 11th. I think they went out at the same time. So another 6th grade student. So she couldn't be here, but congratulations to her as well.
Yes. Good job. Good work. Thank you.
Antonio, would you like to come up and bring your student? Okay, so next up we have Mr. Rosales from Miano Elementary and his two students.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Marshall. Every year, Miano Elementary School is doing a phenomenal job of representing the Los Banos Unified School District. This year was not the exception. We have here 2 students that placed within the top 5 students countywide. Let's hear it for Juliana Plasencia. She placed 5th. Congratulations. Also, congratulations to Arvin Judge Ardu. He placed 2nd at the county level. Congratulations. And a special thank you to Nancy Gilardi. She did a phenomenal job of organizing the entire event along with all Miano faculty and staff. Thank you.
Do you remember how many students there were in the elementary bee? Oh, I love that. Thank you.
You want me to say it?
Yep, I did. Okay, West Side Elementary, Principal Joe McCulloch.
Good evening. I'd like to start off introducing Mrs. Jessica Ramirez, our resource teacher and our spelling bee coordinator. But Jessica does an outstanding job putting on our spelling bee, and it's a deeper, bigger project than most people understand, because it starts off in the classroom with 4th, 5th, and 6th graders all taking a spelling test, and then if they qualify, then they go to the site spelling bee. And at the site spelling bee, we usually average 50 or 60 students. Jessica coordinates every bit of that. And then we have our first and place finishers who represent us at the county. So I'd like to thank Jessica for all her hard work and everything she does in coordinating our spelling bee. So thank you, Jessica. And just a little information, this year we had 92 students that participated in 46 elementary schools. And next I have sixth grader Daisy Abarca, and she finished sixth place in the spelling bee, so we were very proud of her. Next to her, we have Harnett Sandu, who is a fourth grader, and she placed first place in the spelling bee. So we're very proud of her. Yes. So Harnett will be representing Los Banos Unified School District in Merced County in the state spelling bee in May. So we're very proud of her, and we wish her the best of luck. And I'd like to thank Dr. Marshall and Mrs. Mastrangelo and Mrs. Rita Chavez for supporting our students in this endeavor. So thank you guys very much.
Congratulations. And Harneet, I have a special certificate for you for your first place winning in the spelling bee. So congratulations. Good job.
Great job. Keep up the good work. Great job. Keep up the good work. Yeah, cool. How exciting. How exciting.
Just wanted to say, 92 students, 46 elementary schools. Los Banos took first and second place in the county. And not only just first and second, but, so many of our kids, lunchtime, after school, during the night, practicing their words, their parents giving them the words, listening to them spell. It's just amazing. And Los Banos continues to do so well at this event every year. So I just wanted to say congratulations to all the students that participated and their families who helped them be so successful for the event. So we still have a couple of more students to come up from Creekside Junior High. If Mrs. Moreno would come up and bring her two students. Okay, let's go to Los Banos Junior High with Mrs. Brazil and her third place winner.
Good evening. It is with pleasure that I introduce to you Samika Judge, who placed third in the junior high level spelling bee at the county. I also want to thank Mr. Daryl Barger, who is our teacher that actually works with our students in practicing for the spelling bee. And it is a lot of work, and we appreciate his dedication year after year. And also Ms. C. Miller, who coordinated all the behind the scenes stuff to make it happen for Mr. Barger and also for our students. So thank you.
I just wanted to add, I would like to announce Mrs. Moreno's junior high Creekside students that participated, since she isn't here tonight. So we had Valeria Gonzalez from Creekside placing 9th overall for the junior high competition. And also from Creekside Junior High, we had Melanie Garcia placing 12th. So we want to make sure we congratulate the Creekside Junior High team and their students for a job well done. Thank you.
One of the best parts about being on the board is student recognition and seeing the outstanding work that our students are doing. And thank you for bringing them tonight. It's always nice to be able to shake their hand and congratulate them on all their hard work, because I know it is a lot of hard work, and we're really proud of all of them. And they've done well in representing Los Banos.
But the elementary second place winner, Arvin, is actually the brother of the third place junior high winner, Samika. So you know they're doing some spelling in that house.
Yeah, you better believe it. How neat. It's a family affair. Great. Thank you, Paula, for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to everybody. Proud of everybody. All right. Going on. Members of the public may request an item be placed on our any regular scheduled meeting by submitting that request in writing to the superintendent at least 2 weeks prior to any regularly scheduled board meeting. Individuals wishing to address the board on items that are not on tonight's agenda may do so by going up to the podium, and when you'll be recognized, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. If there are multiple speakers on the same topic, you will have, or there will be a maximum of 20 minutes per non-agenda item. And any members of the public that wishes to comment on any item that is on tonight's agenda may do so by approaching the podium when we bring that item up in our business as we go on for the rest of the meeting. So first off, is there anybody who would like to address the board on any item that is not on tonight's agenda? Good evening.
Geneva Brett, Los Banos. You know, it got cold all of a sudden, didn't it? Just like it does in Los Banos. Century 21, we've been targeting coats for kids for the last 9 years. Can't imagine one of our kids being cold. I've got several layers on and a big heavy jacket in my car. So if you have a new or used coat, we would appreciate you dropping it off at Century 21. We're on the corner of 11th and Pacheco Boulevard. We're working with the school district directly to give students in need. And it's not just students, they're brothers and sisters. Any size coat will do. Maria Pina with Johnny's Cleaners cleans the used coats for free, as she's done for 9 years. If you are a parent or you know of a student, you can send them directly to our office and we'll give them the coat right there. Also, we're working with Rotary on the Feed the Need to send food home to the children over the weekend. And what we're offering at Century 21 is for every canned good or non-perishable item that you bring in, we give you a raffle ticket and we will do a drawing for a $250 Visa gift card, just helping our community help one another. And then this Saturday, talking of service, out at the San Joaquin Valley National Cemetery, there is Wreaths Across America, where we're placing, there are over 3,000 wreaths to be placed on the graves of our service women and men who have given their life for our country. So the wreaths are there. We just need people to place them. This ceremony starts at 9 a.m., San Joaquin Valley National Cemetery in Santa Nella. You need to get there early, by 8:30 to get a parking place. There's coffee, hot chocolate, that kind of a thing. It is a very moving ceremony. And then when you take that wreath and place it on someone's grave, you say that person's name. And they say we die twice. Once when our bodies are gone, when our brain stops and all that, and second, when no one mentions us again. So we want to honor those people, and it is a truly touching thing to do. So that's 9 o'clock, be there at 8:30. Thank you very much for that. You can place it on your own loved one's grave if you want, or just anyone there. And last, speaking of service, I too would like to thank Dennis Arrayas for his 21 years of incredible service to our school district and our community. He is a wealth of information, and as you said, Anthony, what passion. I hope everybody brings that passion to the board, to our students, to our community, and to our lives. Peace, goodwill.
Thank you. Thank you, Geneva. And so I did check, and I asked, what sizes are you really looking for? And they're looking for all sizes, but they said we really need some extra large male and female coats. So I dropped off an extra large mail coat, and I could challenge the rest of my board members up here to also take that challenge and drop off a coat. I don't care if it's extra large or extra small, but just drop off a coat because they go to our students, and we don't want to see them shivering out there. So thank you for doing that. We really appreciate that. And the rest of you guys, if you haven't done it already, join in, please. Is there any other member in the audience, member in the public here in the audience that would like to address the board on any item that is not on tonight's agenda? All right, seeing none, we are going to go ahead with reports. Kayla, welcome. Hi.
Thank you.
Can you get that? Oh, here you go. Okay.
Okay, so I'll start off with the Los Banos High School board report. So during November, Los Banos High School counselors took a group of 45 juniors and seniors on A to G track to visit UC Santa Cruz and CSU Monterey Bay. Students walked around the campuses, gathered brochures and information from departments, and had lunch at the dining commons. Along with that, a UC Merced representative attended LBHS to present to juniors and seniors regarding the UC system, research opportunities, and application assistance. In addition, our staff members, Ms. Lara and Mr. Rontondi, took a group of 6 freshmen and 5 sophomores to the escape room in Fresno for a reward for improvements this year. The freshmen beat the sophomores with 5 minutes remaining. As for the music side of things, LBHS choirs have been busy. On November 28th, they bussed over and sang for the Avalon Retirement Community. Saturday, December 1st, choir sang for the Los Banos Arts Council's Makers Market, and on Friday, December 7th, they sang for the lighting of the Christmas tree downtown at the end of the Santa Claus Parade. Lastly, yesterday, December 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the LBHS MP room, choir performed their 34th annual winter concert with members of the Los Banos High School Band and professional brass players. Finally, our winter sports are in full swing and striving. Varsity and JV girls basketball teams have won back-to-back tourneys. Both teams captured titles at Los Banos and Chowchilla. The Frosh Soft girls team narrowly missed out on a Madera tourney championship, losing a heartbreaker at the buzzer for a second-place finish. Varsity boys basketball captured the Gustine tourney title for the second year in a row, and the JV boys basketball team also was a tourney champ at the Tiger Classic. Wrestling has been very busy with Saturday tourneys and also opened up league with narrow defeats against newcomer Bayer. The Tigers will host numerous teams from around the valley in their annual Morning Star tourney this Saturday. Girls soccer picked up a huge season opening league win over Davis, and they will also participate in the Ripon Christian tourney later in the month. Lastly, boys soccer opened league tonight, and we wish them the best with a very young team this year. And then moving on to Pacheco High School board report. PHS Counseling Department hosted the Merced College application workshop this month. Currently, approximately 60 have completed the application for fall 2019. We will host one more application workshop to meet our goal of having at least 90 students apply to Merced College. The counseling department took 50 juniors on a campus tour to Fresno State. The students were able to experience a day in the life of a Fresno student. The counseling department hosted the Modesto Junior College application workshop on December 13th. A total of 30 students participated in the workshop. Ritmo Pantera is doing their yearly Christmas program at New Bethany Elderly Hospital, and Student Voice is organizing their Soup for Christmas 2018, giving warm soup and small gifts to LB homeless and people in need. Pacheco High Wrestling will be holding its 9th annual JVN Girls The Clash Before Christmas Invitational Wrestling Tournament. Wrestling begins at 9 a.m. this Saturday, and the cost will be $5 for adults, $3 for kids 10 and under, and 4 and under will be free. Come out and support the Pacheco High wrestling team and see some good wrestling. Pacheco FFA teachers attended the CATA Regional Roadshow where they continued their learning in the agriculture industry. During this event, our very own Maria Cousins was recognized as a Teacher of Excellence. We are so proud of her hard work and dedication to our FFA program. The school barn is getting to an end, and we are so excited to welcome the kids to the new facility. We have over 100 kids that will be participating in the Los Banos May Day Fair. This week, our program will be hosting 2 California State FFA officers. Our officers will be showing them what our program is all about on Wednesday. Then the state FFA officers will be leading groups of students in different leadership activities on Thursday. Over the last 2 months, our students have put on 2 different community service activities. Through the canned food drive and toy drive, our members were able to collect numerous items to benefit our own local community. This truly embodies one of our beliefs in the FFA program. As we wrap up the end of the semester, we thank the community for the continuous support throughout the year, and happy holidays. Pacheco ASB kickstarted the annual Macy's Believe/Letters to Santa campaign by dropping over 2,000 letters off to the Fresno Macy's last month. Typically asked to turn in letters at the end of the year, the letter drive, Pacheco was asked to help get it started this year. Macy's was extremely grateful for the large donation of letters that will go towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Before Thanksgiving break, PHS ASB held its first Dude Be Nice week on campus. During the week, there were dress-up days to encourage kindness on campus. Students and staff that were recognized for doing something nice for others also received custom Dude Be Nice shirts in Pacheco colors. On Friday, 2 students, Katie Roseman and Alex Hernandez, along with teacher Cruz Baruman Flores, were recognized at a Dude Be Nice rally and given tokens of appreciation for all the nice things they do on campus daily. In athletics, football and cross country were the final 2 teams to wrap up their seasons in the month of November. Football progressed to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in school history, losing to the eventual section champion. Several athletes from the league champion team were honored with all-league recognition, including Offensive Player of the Year Marcus Ordunez, Offensive Lineman of the Year Manveer Lally, and Coach of the Year Dave Snap. In cross country, the league's most valuable runner, Daniel Herrera, became just the second Panther ever to qualify for the state championships. Daniel competed with over 200 racers in his division and placed in the top half. As he is only a junior, Daniel already has his eyes set on a return trip next year. Lastly, Pacheco Athletics would like to take this time to thank Coach David Snap of the football team for his 8 years leading the Panther varsity team. Coach Snap has elected to step down and spend time with his family and relax from coaching. PHS football is what it is today because of the hard work he and his staff have put in. Thank you, Coach Snap. That's it.
Kayla, thank you.
Yeah,
Great job. And as always, if you got homework,
Yeah.
you can go.
Finals.
If not, you can hang out. Oh, finals. Yeah, it's finals time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go home and study.
Thank you,
very
guys.
much. Good job. All right. California School Employees Association. No report tonight. Los Banos Teachers Association. Hi, Jen.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I would like to start by thanking Mr. Reyes for his many years of service to our community and to our schools. While we may not have always seen eye to eye on every issue or lots of issues even, we appreciate that he always had a door that was open and was always willing to listen to everything, any concern that we brought to him. Personally, I hope that he continues to stay involved in our schools. I always enjoyed seeing him on campus, interacting with our students, and my kids always got a kick out of me giving them little stories on what I know about him from behind the scenes, so that was always fun. LBTA would like to officially congratulate Mr. Martinez and Ms. Rodriguez on your election wins. We look forward to continuing our positive relationship with you, Mr. Martinez, and to building a new one with you, Ms. Rodriguez. We invite you to all come to our schools at any time, visit our classrooms, so you can see what's really happening behind the scenes before you make some of those big decisions that affect the lives of all of our students and all of our staff. All of you, including Dr. Marshall, are all invited to our Merced Mariposa Teachers Uniserve, our Service Center Council annual school board dinner. That dinner this year will be held January 29th. It's a Tuesday night, and it'll be held at the Merced Senior Center. This is a great time for you to get to know a little bit about what CTA is, what we have to offer to our school boards and our school districts, as well as our teachers, and an opportunity for all of us to sit down together in a more informal setting so you get to know Jeff and you can get to know me a little better as well. As I was putting this together, I started to write that November and December are pretty short months, but they tend to be some of the busiest for our teachers. And then I realized which month is not one of the busiest for our teachers. They're all so busy. Elementary teachers started out November with parent-teacher conferences, which probably has to be one of the most stressful times of the year for our elementary school teachers. We're making sure all of our assessments are complete, our grades are done, everything is accurate, and that we have information that we can use to substantiate any questions that we get by parents or administration or school board members. We're excited to talk about the great things our students are doing, and we're scared about having to tell some of these parents that their perfect children aren't quite as perfect as they think they are. It's the time of year when our at-risk students are officially identified, where we sit down with parents and we let them know what their options are, what we can do to help them, and how they can help at home, and hope that while we know that the success of their children is a huge importance to them, that they realize that this is something that they can help participate in as well. And we also then find out which of our students and which of our parents are more concerned with putting a roof over their head and food in their mouths than helping with those kids. And knowing that we then have to step in to make sure that we do even more than what we're already doing for those children. And then our secondary teachers in December, they're so busy with finals, getting ready for everything else, and then just dealing with teenagers. And I have 2 of those of my own, so that pretty much sums it up for secondary teachers, I think. Recently, LBTA was excited to partner with our school district in offering training for our PAR panel, which is our Peer Assistance and Review panel. We partnered with Dos Palos Orloma Teachers Association and Gustine Romero as well, and brought in a presenter from CTA, Marlene Fong, to come in and do the presentation for our panel and some of our consulting teachers. It was a great training, and it cost nothing to our district to provide this training. We're excited that we're going to be able to bring Marlene back in at the end of January, beginning of February, to train our consulting teachers some more and to hopefully provide some training to our mentor teachers who are working with our new teachers. In closing, LBTA would like to wish everyone a happy holidays and that we hope that you are safe and enjoy the time that you have with your family and your loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. All right, on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Marshall.
Okay, thank you. First, I want to echo Ms. Wilkins' sentiments and congratulate all of our winners, Ms. Rodriguez, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Pereira, Ms. Smith. Welcome back. And I just wanted to just state that up front. And consistent with that, I want to announce the appointments for the superintendent's committees for 2019. Facilities Subcommittee, Mark Benton, Ray Martinez, Anthony Pereira. Finance Subcommittee, Megan Goin, Anthony Pereira, Marlene Smith. 2x3 Committee, Ray Martinez, Anthony Pereira, Anahi Rodriguez. Scholarship Committee, Ray Martinez, Gary Munoz. Elementary Curriculum Council Representative, Anahi Rodriguez. Secondary Curriculum Council Representative, Mark Benton. Recreation Commission, Mr. Gary Munoz. That's the committee for 2019. So I want to announce that. Okay. Next on my report, I had an informational breakfast last Saturday. We had a good group, had lots of good discussion. Mr. Munoz, thank you for joining us. It was a very good group, and we really got a lots of good feedback. The suggestion was made that we do more of those types of events, and we'll be doing that because it's a way to get feedback from the community. And there were a lot of business people there, so it's always interesting to hear what business thinks of what we're doing. That's very important. You'll see in front of you our newsletter that I talked about. If you can get that, that's right in front of you. I mean, it's interesting. We have so many great things happening here. I've always, even though I have this one done, I can start on my next one already. But as you can look, you can see, we basically, it's in English and in Spanish, and it highlights lots of the great things that we're doing. When we go to print, I don't like the red. I would rather the blue, more consistent with our colors. So that's a minor change that we'll make. But if you can read through this, just look just the first half of the year alone, some of the great things that we've done. And I mean, and great news happens here all day, and I'll share that in a few minutes. When I did my evaluation with you in August, one of the things that you required is that I, develop like what's the plan to increase the student achievement. So that's that's a big question. It covers a lot of different factors. So I have that document here as well. So if you look at this, you have this. I'm gonna get this up on the screen, please. And I'm not gonna read, it's like huge, so we're not gonna go page by page, so don't worry about that. But we are gonna have, hit some different points. That's the cover, obviously. The introduction, you can't see that. Basically, this just gives you information about the district, how many students we have, our schools, and basically it talks about that this document is aligned with our LCAP. We do have to do an LCAP each year that basically reports to the state and to the county what we're doing. So it makes sense that there's alignment. The next piece talks about the community values. Now that's something that a prior board may have come up with years ago. If to change these, what would have to happen, the current board would have to come together and look at these current values and see if they're still relevant or if you want to make any updates. Mission statement, same thing. It's the same mission statement that we've had here for several years. Same with the vision statement. Those are statements that, as the board, you come together with input from staff as far as in developing a vision for the school district. Next, you have quick facts. It just basically gives you some quick facts about the district, our special populations. As we talked about earlier in the budget presentation, our ratio of socioeconomic advantage, disadvantaged students, race and ethnicity. That's just demographic data. I've shared this data previously. As far as our assessment data, you can see the one red spot is, our growth, a net increase, a decrease from on the CAS test from 2018. A couple of highlights, you can see that our growth rate is much higher, almost double the growth rate of the state and the county. Next page just gives you performance over like the last 4 years, from 2015 as far as the change. And you can see in math, with the exception of 8th grade, you can see that we've made some gains in mathematics over the years. Some smaller than others, but there have been some gains at the elementary levels, especially. The picture is better in language arts. You can see like double-digit increases over the years there. One thing I'd be interested in doing is looking at 8th grade. I mean, holistically, from like the county level and the state level to see if that trend is the same. Because if it is, that's more of a curriculum issue. Now we do have, and I've shared this, there are a lot of our schools that do very well. I mean, don't make no mistake, we do have lots of schools that do well. Now what I have here is, basically these are all our schools that meet or exceed the county average, the county average. And you have lots of our schools that did better than their counterparts across the county. And you can see it by grade level. At every grade level the test is offered, you can see we have these pockets of excellence. Even at the state level, same thing. You have every grade level, that's all the grades that are represented, or most of them, and you can see we have schools that have outperformed the state. So it goes back to the original question. How do we improve, academic performance overall? Here are the goals that the board, you put these together, not this current board, but a prior board put these these different 5 areas that were identified. Academic performance, facilities, fiscal integrity, personnel, communication. Those are the 5 goals that were identified. Then you have 5 areas. But there are 11 goals that fall under the 5 areas. So what I did as far as developing what we plan to do is basically work around those goals, because that's what you have in place now. Until you change that, this is what I have to work from. Now, as we went through this, it was evident that this plan hadn't been updated in a few years, because there were several goals that have already been met. I'll share a few. I'm not going to read them all. One talks about, for instance, opening Creekside. Creekside's been open for for a few years. One talked about Mercy Springs. Mercy Springs is already open. So a lot of these goals have already been achieved. And what I've done, I've laid it out as far as goals met. You can read and see the goals that have already been accomplished. What you're going to see now are updated goals. What do we plan to do? I'm not going to read each one verbatim because, like I said, it's a long presentation, but I'm going to highlight certain things. Let's start with Area 1, academic, Goal 1. I'm not reading all those, but the main thing is to provide that K-12 framework. Because what happens is if you have in some grade levels that can outperform the state in the county, we need to come up with a system of getting that to be district-wide. I mean, some of us have figured it out, but we have to kind of find a way to replicate it to where it's throughout the whole district. And that's what one of those goals talks about. Through instruction, as far as instructional walkthroughs, that's a practice of us going and looking at different sites and seeing, okay, what's going on I'll pick on Miano, for instance, in 6th grade. What are they doing there? How can we replicate that? That's just an example. And then basically professional development. I mean, that's the key through instruction. You improve instruction through professional development. What did I do? Oh. Goal 2, again, we have to, constantly raise the achievement of our historically underserved students. We have to increase our STEM and STEAM offerings. So you hear a lot about STEM and a lot about STEAM. The other dimension of offering more offerings for our academic students. That's something that we need to do because there's a big body of research that says to increase student achievement, you do it by raising up, by acceleration, not through just remediation. So we want to offer more advanced classes throughout the district. Goal 3, academic. That focuses on technology. I mean, as you know, today, there's lots of our stuff that we do is based on technology. And you have to have up-to-date technology to be able to perform those functions. So that's basically in terms of aligning your technology with instruction. All right, if we talk about 21st century education, our students need to be educated in 21st century buildings. So we talk about facilities. You have 3 goals there as far as a comprehensive plan to look at mitigation, like revenues to build our schools, because even though we have a new elementary school coming on deck, we're at least 2 elementary schools behind. We've accomplished the second goal as far as a single track schedule throughout the district, and then a master facilities plan, because we need a more proactive approach to deal with our facility needs, not wait till things break, have a system of replacing things throughout, as the life goes on, and that way you spend the money up front before it's more, it's more costly to do it in a reactive mode. So if you look at the items, the activities that we developed, one more? Right here? Okay, cool. Talking about developing and maintaining a 10-year facilities plan. I mean, a plan that guides us for 10 years. And then, we're going to have to add classrooms, more classrooms at Volta. There's room at Creekside and Pacheco High School that we have to add room because we're going to continue to grow. But we have to be a little bit more proactive as far as how we deal with that. A biggie as far as Area 3, fiscal integrity. I mean, one of your primary functions on the board is to make sure the district is fiscally solvent. And by doing that, a few activities, you have to optimize your resources for student achievement. Next area, personnel. We want the best people possible in front of our students, working with our kids. So basically, the function of human resources is to recruit, retain, and basically you provide the opportunities in professional development to keep them and keep them effective. And there are several activities that we're committing to do that basically cover all those different areas. Finally, area 5 is communication. I mean, there's, as one of my old area superintendents once said, communicate, communicate, communicate. If you don't tell your story, somebody else will tell it. And the version you get will not be what you want to hear. You know, there are a lot of good things that happen here. We have our challenges like every other school district. I'll share something that I received yesterday. This was from the Advanced Placement College Board. And we're gonna basically, you know, promote this starting tomorrow. But we we're on the honor roll for advanced placement. And basically for expanding the opportunity and improving the performance for AP students. So we got that yesterday. So there are a lot of good things that happen. We have to tell our story because that's not the information that the media will share. I got a phone call today about, I guess, like the bomb threat email that I received at one of our schools, but you never get calls about stuff like this. So we have to tell our story. So I want you to, in closing, I want you to look at this, read it, offer feedback, and Tina sent out an email as far as a retreat for us to get together again, and that may be a time for us to talk about some of this. But I really want you to look at this, and I want to thank the principals, the teachers, business people, all who gave input on this document. I want to publicly say thank you. And that concludes the plan. Last thing I want to say, I think I covered it all. Happy holidays.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Marshall. All right. On to facilities. Tom.
Good evening to the board.
Good evening.
First, I'm going to start off with the PHS Ag facilities, which is on task. It's going very well. The barn is completely up, so if you guys get a chance to drive by there, it's a very nice facilities, very nice. We're working right now is just doing electrical work. The conduit's all in. We're just pulling wire, hanging lights, that type of thing. So right down to hardly anything. The last thing that we're going to do is put the pumps in, and we're just waiting on the control panel. That's the only thing holding us up. Other than that, we are on time, and it should be finished before our deadline is up. So it's been a really good project, really quick project. Very nice facilities. Secondly, the new elementary school. We had a mandatory pre-bid proposal meeting, and where we went through all the packets before that. We had one general contractor that showed up. So we would like to have more. So we're going to stop where we're at. We're going to try to get some more general contractors involved, go through their packets, and move forward from there, and which will put our project back just a little bit, around maybe a month before we actually break ground, which is not going to be a big deal with the schedule we have. We should still be in plenty of time for the finish of the school and school to start. And a few other projects that we have moving forward, we just got really started, is the Volta project, the Volta portable project. That's online. We've been in touch with the architect working on it. So we're moving forward with that, as well as the San Luis portable project. We have 2 fire alarm projects. They're very big projects, pretty much redoing the fire alarms at LBE and West Side. So those are 4 projects that we have besides the main projects that we're currently working on as well. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Lots going on. Board members report. Let's start with Marlene.
Well, I did attend the CSBA.
Excuse me. Dr. Marshall, you had something?
Yeah, I forgot one thing, if I may go back. I forgot the most important part of this plan.
Sure.
Can I think the public needs to hear this. The last page, let's turn to the last page of this, please. And I'm trying to rush to, keep us on time, but at the same time, I think there's some things that need to be pointed out. If you look at that, the goal for this is to be like at least 5 years. So what does that look like if we are successful? One, Los Banos Unified School District will become a destination school district for all students and staff. And basically what a destination school district is, that's a district where you have districts across the country that when you say the name of that place, everyone knows. Where, as far as that's, because that's the reputation the district has. The second, we will educate students in 21st century learning environments. That was just consistent with Mr. Worthy was talking about. We'll be fiscally sound and meet our reserve levels, but like school districts, because you can't implement a plan if you can't pay for it. As far as our student achievement rates, we'll surpass Merced County. Actually, that goal, we have schools doing that already. We become a top achiever in Merced County. You saw the winners today from the spelling bees. And we have top students here. So that goal is already in process. We become a top academic achiever in the state of California. Again, you have several schools that have already figured out a way to do that. And then finally, the district will be recognized positively by the state of California and even nationally. You saw a good example. The National AP program recognized us. So I just wanted to highlight that. So I'm done.
Thank you. All right, Marlene.
Okay. I did attend the CSBA annual education conference a couple weeks ago, and I took an interest in wellness and community involvement. So I was able to attend the wellness workshops, and I was able to attend some of the community partnership programs. And just being there, there's opportunity in, I believe, in Los Banos to partner with some of the local businesses and bring those services into our school in the way of services and grants. So hopefully, the committee that has been started recently by the nutrition superintendent of that department, he's working with the wellness committee, and I've actually joined that committee. And he's really excited about bringing this program and this policy to the district. And he will be looking for partnerships in the community, which will benefit our students a lot. I was also able to participate or attend Mercy Springs Elementary. They had their family and friends night. The parent club there did a really good job on that presentation, and they actually gave me some really, really good popcorn that they're going to be selling for a fundraiser for their school. It was savory. It was really good. So I called it Big Girl Popcorn. So it was tasty. So try it if they sell it. And then I'd like to mention that there will be a Martin Luther King parade on January 21st. And I'm asking the community to please come out and support. It will be at City Hall at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. And it will take a small walk around to Pastor Hammond's church at New Bethel. And we will have a highlight of the Buffalo Soldiers. They'll be there to ride and present, and they'll do a presentation. So I'm asking the citizens of Los Banos to please come out. It will be sponsored by the NAACP, and I am now their new local president. So I'm asking for your support to come out and support me and that Martin Luther King Day event and learn something about the Buffalo Soldiers. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Thank you, Marlene. And congratulations on
Yeah.
NAACP.
That's a big job.
That's a
Big
It's a
project.
big job, yeah. Mark, I'm sorry, I just saw your name flash up here. Did you have a question earlier? And I missed that, sorry.
I did have a question of Dr. Marshall, and it kind of goes with being at the CSBA. Talked with a lot of different school districts and such, and they are really taking off with STEM projects. And I've been reading about some drone projects that are coming to different schools. And Merced City, Merced Town is kind of kicking us for that and getting ahead of us. And so I'm just kind of wondering, are we working on any projects to bring some more in?
Yes, we are. In fact, on the agenda, we have, I guess, the first read of a policy that for you to approve.
Right, I
through
read that.
CSBA. You're correct. There has been an increase in, drone technology, as far as the STEM modules, and there were a lot of, there were some articles that you probably read the same article out in the Gilroy, Morgan Hill area.
Yes.
And then I learned that
Gavilan College.
the high school district has already, started the process as well. So we're right there. You have tonight, basically a drone policy for your review, and we'll be coming back with a course description here in the next, I guess by next time. And Mr. Enos, we bring it to Curriculum Council, and we're right there. We're moving it through.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, back to board reports. Megan?
I'm back. Yeah, I had the baby in October, and it was not an easy run. Doing that at 35 was interesting. But thank you guys all so much. I'm just getting back in the swing of things, and thank you to Thais and Kim for taking care of my little guy out there. So
And he is so cute.
yeah. Hopefully he'll sleep through the night soon. Oh, Wraith. His name is Wraith. It's a different name, and hopefully he'll be sleeping soon. So I keep yawning up here. I don't mean to offend anybody. You're not boring me. I'm just exhausted. So. But happy holidays to everyone. I'm happy to see everybody's faces.
Thank you. Great. All right, Ray.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. Congratulations to our spelling bee students. That's amazing. It's awesome. They're putting us on the map all the time. I've taken some much-deserved R&R after a vigorous campaign. And other than that, I've started my tour of all the school sites. I do that once a year. And so if you haven't heard from me, you will be hearing from me here pretty quick. I'd like to just take a couple minutes and read a thank you letter relative to my election. And I want to thank God first and foremost for my reelection. I thank my campaign managers. They know who they are. I thank my wingman, Jose Leal, who helped me tremendously. I thank my family, my spiritual kids, my constituents for believing in me. It was a tough campaign for all involved. I also want to thank Geneva Brett, who's here with us this evening. I have a lot of respect for her. And she stepped up and brought out the best in me. You know, it was a tough campaign. I wish her the best in her future endeavors. I don't take this position lightly. And my hope is that others that step up to this position in the future will do it with the right and best intentions. It is about being and providing the best for our children. It's an honor to be able to sit on this board and make a difference alongside all these awesome people here, the governance team. I promise to continue to work very hard and continue to persistently push the district to be safe, fiscally sound, responsible, transparent, and accountable to our community, especially to the parents and the children in our district. Under the leadership of Dr. Marshall, let us all continue to press and march forward and make Los Banos Unified School District the best that it can be. A model school district for others to follow. We can do this. We have the heart, we have the passion, the talent, including some of the best teachers and administrators in the county. Blessings to you all. And once again, thank you. Aside from that, I want to congratulate our board members here, our new officers. And last but not least, have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
All right, thanks, Ray.
Like that.
Marg.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season, had a great Thanksgiving, and is just waiting for Santa to come, right? I attended the Pacheco High School choral Tuesday night, and it was a great concert. They did an outstanding job. Both the students and the audience, they were just enjoying themselves, and leader Chris Helping is really, really good. He comes up with interesting and unusual variations of our old classic songs. So we had a great time for that. And then last night I went to the high school at Los Banos and enjoyed their choral concert. Oh my gosh, such a large group of students. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Tom Faria always works his magic, and the students there too, and the audience, we were all enjoying the performance. And nothing kind of puts you in the holiday mood as listening to holiday music, and it was a great time. I too went to the CSBA conference in San Francisco. We had a great time. We were busy all the time, but we had a lot of fun. There's a lot of workshops there, and you were up from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, and we're doing a lot of different things. was hard to pick which class to go to. There was so much to choose from. One of them I went to was the governor's fiscal outlook, the projection of what they think for our schools. So we're hoping that the new governor will say, hey, let's just give you all that money that's owed to you and go and have fun. But we'll see what happens. As I said, the STEM classes and talking with a lot of different school districts and getting their projections of what they want to do. And they're very surprised that we have 11,085 students there, because they think, oh, little Los Banas, oh, you've probably, like us, you have 2,000 kids. It's like, oh, no, we're better than that. We're bigger than that. I'd like to address one thing, and that's some phone calls that I've received about the Hawk system. Some people think that our district has paid for that. We did not. I just pushed to get it done, and Dr. Marshall and a lot of us on the board pushed, and the city government pushed Caltrans to get this done and get this studies and get it put in. So no money was spent from our district, and we just are happy that the children have a safe way to get to school every day. So I appreciate that. To reiterate what Geneva was saying, the Century 21, we're taking gently used coats and brand new coats, and I've given 2, Anthony, so I'm one up on you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And if you know a student or somebody that really needs one, just send them by our office. We'll take care of that. We're trying to get them out before the break so students can have those. And the canned foods, it's kind of unique in that we are doing this to send home to some students. We're right now working with 15 students at Henry Miller School. These children don't have something to eat on the weekends. So we'd appreciate if you brought some canned goods. And it'd be better if you could do individual things, because big box of cereal is not going to fit in their backpack to take home. So little packages are the best to do. And I appreciate any support. We're also working, I'm also part of Rotary, and we're working on, it's called Feed the Need. And any other little group like to work on that, hey, we will embrace you and help do this to more schools. We really need to have it done. So everybody have a happy holiday, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Gary?
Hello, everybody. Okay. Los Banos FFA chapter. The annual Green Hand chapter former banquet. I really enjoyed that on November 13th. It was a very nice presentation on their members being recognized for their commitment to their organization. And I thank you for the invite. It was very nice. On November 9th, I also attended Los Banos High School, their fall art show, and that was held in the gym. The art show has demonstrated some of the very nice talent from our students. I was really amazed on some of this. I believe some of it was for sale. Mm-hmm. Yes, I should have bought a piece. Well, you snooze, you lose. Last week on Wednesday, I attended Mercy Springs Elementary Friends and Family Night, community celebration. It was a very nice event, a get-together with the community and their family. They were busy making artwork for Christmas. There, I like engaging with the parents and getting a feel of their concerns. We really had really nice conversations. Empty bowls. Los Banos, help fight hunger. First time I've attended this function, meeting friends and business partners of the community. I had made a bowl over at Pacheco and always wondered what happened to it. Well, that night I found it, and I took that baby home.
You were very proud of it.
Yeah, I was, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Last week on the 8th, I attended Los Banos informational breakfast with Mr. Marshall and engaged once again with our members of the community to address their concerns. It's very informational. Mr. Marshall, I have to congratulate you on a job well done. Moving forward, okay, California School Board Association, I attended that conference also. and the trade show. The conference was educational and filled with innovative information, from attaining funds for our new schools to leadership through governance and school safety, just to name a few. The innovative ideas were endless. This information we bring home and we'll implement it to improve our district in all areas. I'm excited to start working on this. Also, I saw the play over at Pacheco called Clue. I was really amazed on how it was all put together, and our students, how you said, they just knew their lines. It was a very well put together play by the staff and our students. I really enjoyed myself on that play. And then I'd like to thank Mrs. Velador for the invite for the walkthrough on the DLAC program over at Mercy Springs. We took a walk and we wanted to see how Kagan strategies were being implemented in our schools. And I saw a lot of that. It is happening. Thank you. That's it.
All right, thank you, Gary. Ani? No, here you go, you're on.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Los Baños for this opportunity. I am very honored and humbled. I also want to thank my husband, my daughter Daniela, and Santiago for always believing in me. Of course, campaign managers, marketing directors, volunteers, and the community for expressing in high percentages the need of change. While campaigning, door knocking, many parents, teachers, commuters, and community members mentioned the different needs and concerns and suggestions that we are facing in our districts. The needs range from safety, having a secure and safe environment, free of drugs, sexual assaults, bullying, harassment, and more, to providing our teachers all the support possible, ranging from supplies, better salaries, less pressure, and a better working environment, training and giving more trust in their recommendations to improve, traffic, and educate for special education, understand the sensibility of each individual situation and make necessary adjustments, incorporate events, walkathons, gathering to honor our special children, families, and staff. Continue giving to support to our parents and students, having programs that act as a safe haven for difficult situations, for foster children, multiple family residents, diversity in homes, commuter parents that dreading not being involved due to traveling and working, asking ways to have a safe, secure, inspiring programs that will protect their children and help the children understand their own situation, and many more. I understand the responsibility of this position. With my 22 years in finance background, I can assure you that I do understand very well budgets, profit and loss, balance sheets, projection, trial balances, and most importantly, I understand accountability. Having the input of new, fresh ideas and looking into how to better our system will always be a path to better future. Reestablishing a new vision and learning from the old and building the new will ensure our goal for students, teachers, staff, community, and the district's success. Now, my report. I attended, and the reason why I want to bring it up, I attended as a community member the Pacheco High School 5th Annual Multicultural Night. What I learned and what I observed was engaging, promoting understanding the diversity, the safe environment, and understanding of our multicultural district. The goal was through student voice that empowers students of all backgrounds to lead, to raise awareness, to embrace culture, spirit, school spirit, and promote a deeper sense of community. Their mantra is persevere in passion, purpose, and presence. We all are one. I also attended 2018 CSBA Annual Education Conference and Trade Show in San Francisco. I was able to attend a combination of lectures, workshops, and general session, covering topics ranging from board responsibility, improving an ongoing system that monitors process, ensures effectiveness, impact, and review of the return on our investment, our district investments, making sure that whatever investment we're doing, it's giving back to us. So to make a solid decision, we need the data to make sure that we can do smart decisions. 2, affecting funding priorities using the smarter spending approach. State has not given an update on releasing funds owed to our district. However, given effective alternatives in finding funds for this on this ongoing district. Due to our high lunch and reduced lunch student percentages, we have a higher responsibility and possibility of receiving grants for our needs. Grants range from federal, state, county, local, and private. Our district is a great candidate for applying for grants due to our demographics and our needs. As stated in the conference, Los Baños School District needed to be applying for alternative in funding and obviously the grants. I recommend, as suggested in the conference for the California Consulting and the state premier grants writing firm, to find professional agencies to write all our grants. And with this, we will ensure success in receiving multiple funds for different essential needs, from special projects and on. 3, ending sexual harassment in school, associating with nonprofit agencies, Alliance for Girls and Boys. Acknowledging that there is an issue is the first step of improvement. As our students, they're the ones that are in school. They can tell us what they need and what's better to making our environment a better place to study. Masters in Government, that was another class. 5th, achieving district goals through environmental literacy. Forming and developing and updating our future self-sustained district through the law passage adoption to the next generation to science standards where environmental principles are integrated with the science teaching. Using the real-world experiences. Using outdoor, go green, motivate the students to discuss new ways to have move forward into zero-waste classroom. Suggestion that was given at the conference is to us as board members set an example in having no plastic bottles, but to put reusable bottles. And that reduces waste, it decreases expense and garbage fees, and having the path to an eco-friendly district. Overall, there was, like Ms. Mars said, it was just overwhelming. It was extremely organized, motivating, empowering conference. And for that, thank you. Thank you. Happy holidays.
All right, thank you. My report is basically ditto what everybody else said, because you don't want to hear it again, because I did all that stuff too. All right. First interim report. New business. Don.
Yes, we had a study session earlier in our board meeting to go over the first interim report in some detail, answer questions. And I need to commend and thank Amir Iqbal, our Director of Fiscal Services, for most of the heavy lifting in doing the calculations and preparing the report and helping me with the presentation preparation, that kind of stuff. He had to leave, so he's not here to hear that, but it needs to be said. So we're at the point now that we're able and willing to answer any further questions that there might be, and then to adopt and approve the report.
All right, like he said, we did have a study session before this meeting this evening, and we asked a lot of questions. Anybody have any additional questions? All right, I need a motion. Got a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Benton. All those in favor? Opposed? It is carried. All right, item B, FFA report. You sat there so patiently for the last almost 2 hours. Thank you for doing that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Do you have a visual?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you guys for your time tonight.
Somebody
My
has
name
a
is
clicker
Stephanie
over here.
Murphy. I'm serving as the Los Banos FFA chapter president. I'm so excited to introduce my chapter reporter. She has prepared this presentation. She's worked really hard on it, and I'm excited to listen to her talk.
What's the name of your presentation? Katie School Board presentation. There we go.
All right.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, board members, site and district administration. My name is Katie Racy. I am the 2018-2019 Los Banos FFA chapter reporter, and it is my privilege to be bringing you our annual board report to you tonight. Each year, our incoming officer team embarks on their annual officer retreat. Many things are accomplished during these 3 days. The program of activities are finalized, duties are assigned, leadership activities are engaged by all, choosing the annual officer theme, and the organization of activities to meet the needs of over 450 enrolled students. This year we chose not just farmers. The reason behind that is because agriculture is not just about farming. Only 2% of the nation's workforce is actually in production of agriculture, with another 20% working in another ag-related fields, thus putting over 1/5 of the nation's entire workforce in agriculture industry. Among our numerous annual activities, the chapter takes time on several occasions to give back to the community. In September, our members brought in 110 bottles of vitamins, which traveled with Jennifer Barcelos to Guatemala for the kids in need. At the November meeting, the members collected just short of 4,500 canned foods to help the local families during the holidays. And last week at the December meeting, our members brought in 131 unwrapped toys for the Cops for Kids program. And earlier this evening, we had over 63 students at the police annex wrapping those presents for the children of our community. Los Banos FFA is very active in public speaking and career development events. From opening and closing ceremonies in October, local speech contests like RCD and Rotary Speech, local and sectional project competition, and career development events like cotton judging in the fall, dairy cattle evaluations, and small engines in the spring. Our members are getting ready out there, building their public speaking skills and becoming career ready. Each year, the Los Banos Ag Boosters award students from both Los Banos and Pacheco FFA chapters with an all-expense paid trip to the National FFA Convention and Washington, D.C. Leadership Tour. This year, the 11 Los Banos FFA members, 4 Pacheco FFA members, advisors, and guests were joined by the members and parents from the La Grande and Madera Liberty FFA programs, which brought a total of 36 people for the 9-day adventure. To start out, they traveled to Indianapolis for the 91st National FFA Convention. While they were there, they got to see some sights around Indy, including the Brickyard. And yes, even some of our members took the time to kiss the bricks. To start off the convention activities, they attended a concert that featured Garth Brooks. From there, they were able to hear keynote speakers, attend general sessions, experience an enormous career fair, watch national speaking finals, and hear addresses from the National FFA president, who is from Lodi, California. There was also one late addition to the convention agenda this year. Each year, the National FFA officers invite the President of the United States to the convention regardless of political affiliation. For the first time since 1991, the invitation was accepted. What an awesome recognition for the seated president to take the time to speak to over 67,000 members and guests that attended the convention, representing the largest student organization in the nation. For the second half of the trip, they spent it in Washington, D.C. area. It was a very busy schedule that had them up early each morning and down late each night. They were able to hit all the monuments, Library of Congress, National Archives, Holocaust Museum, Arlington National Cemetery, and Mount Vernon. They also laid the wreaths at George and Martha Washington's tomb, the Tomb of the Unknowns, and the 9/11 Memorial at the Pentagon. To culminate the trip, they all took in a play at the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. All in all, the trip provided by the Ag Boosters was full of activities and memories that will never be forgotten. As you have heard, we have been very busy thus far. However, our real busy time is just around the corner. Students are getting their animal projects ready for fair. As soon as we get back from break in January, we start our FFA Sweetheart Balloon Sales, which is the chapter's largest fundraiser that has brought in over $125,000 in over the last 5 years. That is followed by the National FFA Week, Henry Miller Farm Day, and College Field Days, which are held up and down the state of California, the May Day Fair, and the end of the year banquet. The banquet is the culminating event that recognizes the students for their hard work throughout the year, and where they are awarded the convention and also over $60,000 in scholarships. In conclusion, I would like to thank our site and district administration, board members, and Ag Boosters, and the community for their continued support in our dynamic program. Our members excel because of your support. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you all tonight, and may each of you have a safe, joyous, and blessed holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work and great job of representing Los Banos. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. McCullough, too. All right, on to the dashboard.
Good evening, Board. We're here tonight to basically kind of cross something off a checklist. We've been talking about the dashboard that we have that keeps track of all of our various goals for the district as far as attendance and suspension rates and graduation rates and test scores and on and on and on and on and on. And so those are things that are kind of at the forefront. Well, we have some other local indicators that we are responsible for keeping track of ourselves and then reporting back to the state on. So tonight we are going to talk about our current dashboard items that we have to report to you for this school year. The local indicators are part of our the LCFF process, and it's data not collected at the state level, as I mentioned. It's something that we do locally and collect locally and report on locally. It reflects the emphasis on local control, which is part of the reason of LCFF is supposed to have local control. Addresses priorities that are more focused on implementation than summative outcomes, and communicates a more holistic picture of our district's progress. Which state priorities are we measuring locally? Priority one, if you remember, there's 8 state priorities that we have to address in the LCAP, right? There are 4 of them that we address locally. The basic conditions at school, the implementation of our state academic standards, our parent engagement that we have, and our local climate survey. How do we measure progress? We demonstrate that the standard is met on each of the local indicators at the district level, and review any actions or local data from within the current or prior school year. What we're reporting on to you this evening is what we have from last school year. And as we are tonight, we're going to be reporting out to you the progress that we made or where we're at.
So I just wanted to bring one example this evening because in the next few minutes, as Paul speaks to you about the 4 that we measured, we either have to say to the state we met or we did not meet our goal. So we have to be collecting data consistently to be able to show evidence of that. So I brought an example tonight. I'm just going to speak to priority number 3, which is parent engagement. And so just to let you know what we do and maybe what our data that we send to the state sounds like and looks like. So this is what we said to the state about the priority on parent engagement. Los Spanish Unified annually administers a local survey to parents, guardians of students in grades K through 12. Parent respondents have children who come from 8 elementary schools and 6 secondary schools in the district. Here is a summary of our key findings of that survey. 74% or more of parent respondents respond affirmatively to each statement regarding parent involvement. Specifically, 83% report agree or strongly agree when asked if they felt welcomed at their child's school. 79% report that their child's school is welcoming and encourages parent involvement. 77% report that their child's school provides opportunities for parents to get involved in their child's education. And 74% report participating in parent opportunities at their child's school. Our quest has been to increase parent involvement and parent engagement at our sites. Here are some of our highlights. Our District Advisory Council parent representation has grown by 25% in the last year. Our District English Language Learner Advisory Council has grown by 75% in the last 3 years. English Learner Advisory Councils at our sites have grown by 7 to 10% in the last year. And School Site Council continues to be a forum for input from parents in school decision making. Additionally, we offer 4 community cafes a year that encourage parent participation and input on school and district decision making. So we just wanted to give you an example. When we write into the state to address our priorities and we say we met or did not meet that priority, this sounds like the evidence that we send to the state to prove why we're checking met or did not meet. So what you just heard, all of our percentages were between 74 and 83%. And so the benchmark is 50. So we have in the last survey exceeded our parent participation and engagement rates for this past year. But it changes every year. Our percentages change. We also, we need parents to actually participate in the survey so that we can be collecting a nice sample and good representation across the TK-12 arena. So we just wanted to give you an example. When Paul is going to follow up with the met or did not meet, you'll have an idea of what that sounds like and what evidence we're looking at.
So priority number 1 is basic conditions at school. This is the number or percentage of misassignments of teachers or teachers of English learners, total misassignments and vacant teacher positions. And at this point, it's 0. So that's good. The number and percentage of students without access to their own copies of standard aligned instructional materials for use at school is also 0. All of our kids, those of you that have been around know that we have the Williams visits every year to check that all kids have access to all the curriculum. And that has really changed with technology because since Creekside has opened, a lot of Creekside's technology is online technology, digital technology, right? That the kids are getting off the iPad. They're not carrying around a textbook. The number of identified instances where facilities do not meet the good repair standard. And we have 2 school sites right now that do not meet the good repair or excellent, or I don't know if it's excellent, but there's good and excellent is the top one. So it's something that we're continually working on. And as you well know, we've been talking about new facilities in the district, right? But there is a lot of upkeep on the old facilities, and some of our school sites are very old. And so we have a lot of that to deal with, but we have met that particular criteria. Priority 2 is the implementation of state academic standards. This one is where we rate ourselves, whether we're just starting, researching, exploring, or we have full implementation and sustainability. So the self-guided tool we use, it's a providing professional learning for teachers to the standards and curriculum frameworks. We have the calendar that we'll talk about here in a little while still has our 3 non-student contact professional development days that we use for teacher professional development and learning. So we have that implemented. It's been implemented and will continue to be implemented. Making sure that instructional materials are aligned to the standards. We've been working on that since 2012, with the Common Core standards that our materials are aligned to those standards. Implementing policies or programs to support staff in identifying areas where they can improve in delivering instruction aligned to standards and our frameworks. Ms. Mastrangelo mentioned the parent surveys that we have. We do staff surveys on a very regular basis to what are our needs, what do our teachers feel they need, what are some areas that we need to support them and have more professional development opportunities there. And then implementing each of the following academic standards that have been adopted by the state board. And again, it's a self-reflection tool that we use. Basically, we've met or have not met, and where are we on that continuum? And if you looked at the continuum where we have barely started just looking into it, or we're fully implemented and going, just gangbusters, on almost all of those, we are at a level 4. We have implemented, but we're not where we want to be yet, right? So we're along that continuum farther than we're farther along on the continuum, but we're not any one of our programs can we say, hey, we're rocking and rolling and this is perfect, right? We always are looking to improve. And a little bit redundant here, identifying learning needs of teachers, professional learning needs for individual teachers, and supporting those teachers. And of course, all of those standards we have met at this point in time. Again, not to where we want to be, but we have increased our opportunities for staff over the years to support them. Parent engagement, something that Paula just mentioned, and how seeking input in parents. One of the things very interesting, we've had some sites that have been very successful at getting parents to participate and complete surveys more than others. And we've looked at just a variety of things. We have, a hard copy in the office that you can give a parent. Obviously, we have them, they're translated. We have them in English and Spanish. I know Ms. Velador is doing a great job at the DLAC, along with boosting the numbers of our DLAC participants and getting folks to do some of those surveys when they're at those DLAC meetings. So we have those folks. She has a very active group of parents, and they've been very supportive and helpful. So one of the things we're looking at all the time is what are the various ways we have a link if people have, internet access, which most people do. What are all the various ways we can get this out to parents so we can get more participation and we can get more feedback on where we need to be? And it's getting better. It's not where we need to be yet, but if you're looking at 11,000 students in our district, we're probably getting 2-3% participation, which is not great, but it was probably less than 1% when we first started. So little by little, we're trying to get it out to more folks. Our local climate surveys, we do that, and that's part of, Paula mentioned, are you comfortable at your child's school? Do you feel like they want you on campus? Do you feel like they want you participating in your child's education? We have those same types of survey questions for students. And that is part of our LCAP, and it's reported in our LCAP every year. And this is now the 3rd year now that with our survey that we've done through Hanover Research, I believe, at least the 3rd year, we've asked some of those same questions every year so we can compare apples to apples. And it is increasing and getting better, but even so, I think we would agree, Paula was using percentages between 74 and 80 some odd percent. you know, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's more than 50, but we would want to have more than 80% of our parents participating, right? And we would want to have more than 80% of our kids feeling safe on campus. We ask them those kind of, you know, or do they feel safe going to and from school? Do they feel safe on campus? Do they feel like there's an adult on campus that cares about them? That kind of stuff. And so those are things that we're always working on. And that's it, unless you have any other questions.
Questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good info. All right, California English Learner Roadmap. That is, welcome, Nancy.
Good evening, Board President, Board Trustees,
Is yours a
Superintendent,
I'm sorry, is yours
Assistant.
a PowerPoint also?
Oh, there is.
Okay, sorry, I turned it off. Good, all right. Sorry, thank you.
Good evening, Board President,
Sorry.
Board Trustees, Superintendent and Assistant Superintendents, and the public. My name is Nancy Velador. I am the English Language Coordinator for the District Office. I'm here today to give you a brief overview of the California for a Global Economy initiative. Many of you that have attended or attended the CSBA conference may have heard about this initiative. The purpose of this initiative is to ensure that all children of California public schools receive the highest quality education, master the English language, and access high-quality, innovative, and research-based language programs that prepare them to participate in a global economy. This initiative was approved by California voters in November of 2016, and it was state board approved in July of 2017. The California Education for Global Economy Initiative authorizes school districts and county offices of education to establish language acquisition programs for both native and non-native English speakers, and requires school districts and county offices of education to solicit parent and community input in developing language acquisition programs. Recently, thanks to Jane Bertel, principal of Lorena Velasco, our district English language advisory parents had the opportunity to visit her school and observe the new technology program that is being implemented K through 12, Imagine Learning. And as you had heard, Jason Arias, our area partner manager, he had shared with you the positive data that we are having with our English language learners. He will be coming to you in January and sharing more data with you that is very, very promising, showing growth of our English language learners in language acquisition. The EEL roadmap provides us with an aspirational, inspirational vision. This policy was needed to move the needle of English language programs and services across the state of California. Actionable research indicated the definite need for a guidance document, and that is what the EEL roadmap policy does. It provides us with crosswalks to other documents and legal citations and the local control accountability plan. So why the EEL roadmap policy? We have over 1.3 million English language learners in our California schools today. The EL policy provides us with systems of support, helps schools meet new state and federal standards, helps equip students with 21st century skills. The EL roadmap policy provides us with 4 principles that support our vision and provide the foundation of California English Learners Roadmap. The first principle is assets-oriented. Pardon me. The first principle is assets-oriented and needs-responsive schools. Principle 2, intellectual quality of instruction and meaningful access. Principle 3, system conditions that support effectiveness. And finally, Principle 4, alignment and articulation with and across systems. The vision of the EL roadmap policy: English learners fully and meaningfully access and participate in 21st century education from early childhood through grade 12 that results in their attaining high levels of English proficiency, mastery of grade level standards, and opportunities to develop proficiency in multiple languages. The EL roadmap policy mission. I did not include that up there, but I will read it for you. California schools affirm, welcome, and respond to a diverse range of English learners' strengths, needs, and identities. California schools prepare graduates with linguistic, academic, and social skills and competencies that require for college, career, and civic participation in a global, diverse, and multilingual world, thus ensuring a thriving future for California. Developing English learners' linguistic and academic capacities is a shared responsibility of all educators, and that all levels of the schooling system have a role to play in ensuring the access and achievement of the 1.3 million English language learners who attend our school. And we here in Los Baños have approximately a little over 3,000 EL students. The California Education for Global Economy Initiative, I have just provided you with an overview. It goes more in depth. On Monday, December 17th, we will be providing our teachers and staff here at Los Baños with a workshop that will go into the EL roadmap policy and what that looks like in our schools here in our district. Many of the principles, the 4 principles that I have addressed to you, there's evidence that all of them are being implemented in our district, and we will continue to do so as the year moves on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right, on to item E, schedule of 2019 board meetings. Per board policy, those are the second Thursday of each month. So you have the dates here, which are all on the second Thursday of each month, and a couple of special meetings that we have annually. So, got any questions, comments? I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Benton, to adopt the schedule of 2019 board meetings. All those in favor? Opposed? And it is carried. All right. On to course adoptions. Mr. Enos.
Yes. Before you tonight, we have 3 of our CTE courses that our ag folks have done a good job working with, ag and industrial arts folks doing a good job working with, and those courses have qualified for A to G status, so that students will get A to G credit for those toward coming into 4-year university. Advanced ag small engines, ag wood construction 2, and ag wood construction 3. And so tonight's the first reading, and what we're asking for the board is to declare intent to adopt these 3 courses. They've been revamped to become A to G compliant, and these were taken to our district secondary curriculum council on November 8th and were approved at that meeting. So we're asking for your intent to adopt this evening.
Got a motion by Member Goen, seconded by Member Smith. All those in favor? Opposed? And it is carried.
And on a note, not to contradict Mr. Arrayes from earlier, I think he used like a 41% or 42% or something like that. I think if you asked Mr. Gergen or Mr. Sutton, it's much closer to 50% when we get our, much closer to 45% when we get our final tallies in from last year A to G compliant, which 45% was our goal. So if we hit 45%, we're going to raise it up to 50%. So
excellent.
We're getting there, yes.
Super. Thank you. All right. First reading for the 2019-2020 calendars. As I mentioned earlier, you have the K-12 calendar, and then you also have San Luis and Crossroads Alternative Education calendar in front of you. Up for its first reading. It says pending LBTA approval. Did we get that, Dr. Marshall?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so it is approved by LBTA, so we are ready to declare our intent to adopt. All right. Got a motion by Ms. Benton, seconded by Mr. Munoz. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It is carried. Board policy, first reading. This is on the Drones.
One of the first steps in the process is for you to approve this just approve the first read of this policy. And that's one of the things that's required to be able to put this course in place. Want to add a few items. The course is being taught in conjunction with Merced College. It's a partnership with Merced College, the Los Banos campus. They basically operate several classes, within the district. And this particular course would be offered in conjunction with Merced College.
Is this for,
High school, for high school students.
I mean, I'm sorry, is it going to begin in the 1920 school year or sooner? Is that?
We're trying to move it as quickly as possible. I've talked with Mr. Enos today as far as getting the course description to Curriculum Council and moving forward.
So it'll be ready for August of 2019?
Yeah, yes, or sooner.
Cool. That'll be a fun class. All right, Mark?
Okay, this is specifically for building drones, for, what does it entail in the course?
Can you answer that question? All right, come on. Come. Okay, y'all can go up. Go ahead. Y'all go up and come. Y'all go up.
I get everything.
Your son. Tammy's son.
Good evening, board, district leaders. I want to introduce you to Mike Munez, an alumni of Los Banos High School, one of our staff members. He knows way more than I do about this. This is his passion. We're just lucky enough to have somebody with his expertise and knowledge so that we can bring him into our fold. So we're working hard, but if you want to kind of give a description on what the course entails.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now they have CSP 17, and they're going to have 18 in the spring. It's kind of a drone technology course and advanced drone technology course. So they learn everything from the FAA rules and regulations, how to build the drone, how to put different payloads on there, which can range from just a camera or a LiDAR sensor where you'd fly down the street and look for the gas pipes. So it ranges from a huge variety of things, not just flying the drones, not just building the drones. It really teaches you how to operate them. The article you read in the Morgan Hill Times is actually on our program. I'm the head of the UAV program at Gavilan Junior College.
I saw
And
the
we've
video of
developed
you.
9 courses over there, from intro to drones, aerial photography, advanced aerial photography, repair and maintenance, FAA rule and regulation, first responders, agriculture. So we know that it's a huge value. We've been doing this for about 3 years. We helped work with Merced to develop all their drone classes. And the courses that we're bringing to the high school are actually going to be broken down into 2 classes. And one's going to be intro to drones, where it's focused on the operation of the drones and being a safe pilot, learning the rules and regulations, learning what it takes to register the drone and operate safely within whatever airspace you're at. The other one is strictly an FAA rules and regulations class, which will prepare the students to go then and take a 107 remote pilot license at a site, which you can go to Merced, you can go to Watsonville, Stockton, Fresno, any of those airports, and go take your 107 license. And you need to be 16 years old and be able to read and write English. Same thing you do with a car, get a license, and you can be a professional drone pilot and operate with a working license. And it's a really, really good deal. It's the same program that they just approved the ag classes. It's a CTE, they get course credits. We're doing this right now at Live Oak High School in Morgan Hill. We're taking it, recently got adopted to Anzar High School in San Juan Bautista, and we're looking to get into North Monterey County High School. So we'd love to, I am at the Los Banos High School campus every day. I would love to bring this to our school district. I think that our students would benefit greatly, along with, there's so many uses that the district can benefit as well. So we're looking forward to bringing this to Los Banos.
I'm a little jealous.
You guys are more than welcome to come fly. Maybe we'll have a fly day for the
That'd be cool.
for the school board.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
And I think any addition of CTE classes is
Yeah, I mean, it's
outstanding
really
because-
exciting to bring it, because they can go anywhere from computers to photography to sports and editing, and
Yeah.
it covers all bases. It's really cool.
It's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
so glad
Thank you.
you're on board.
No,
for us.
thank you for the
Appreciate it.
opportunity.
Great. All right. Any other questions? then we can get a motion.
I'll get a motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Munoz, seconded by Ms. Rodriguez. All those in favor? Opposed? And it is approved. On to item X, which is the consent calendar. And since this is Anahi's first time doing this, how this works is consent calendar has multiple items on it that we vote in one motion. If there's anything that you would like to discuss, you can pull that off and we can discuss that item after we vote on all the rest of it. So there's an opportunity to pull something off and talk about it if you so desire. If not, then we'll take it as all one big piece. So any pulls? Need a motion? Got a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by who? Munoz, okay. It is a roll call vote. Tina?
Ms. Benton? Yes. Ms. Goen? Yes. Mr. Martinez? Yes. Mr. Munoz? Yes. Ms. Rodriguez? Yes. Ms. Smith? Yes. Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Next is reporting out of closed session. What did I do with that? Here it is. All right, since we have a vote on everything in closed session and just give you a report of what happened in closed session, but tonight we didn't do that because we weren't sworn in, so we weren't legal. So we had our discussion, and now we are ready to legally vote on all these things. So we are going to take all this and do our actions here in open session. So first off is item 1C1, student discipline cases. And so we have expulsion case numbers 5505-162 and 617-100-3314 and 2157-497-515. Pupils are expelled for the remainder of the 2018-19 school year. Students are to contact the Office of Student Discipline for possible readmission to the district following the period of expulsion for a review of attendance, credits, and/or grades, behavior, and recommended counseling. Pupils are referred to Valley Community Day School. Need a motion? Got a motion by Ms. Goen, seconded by Ms. Benton. All those in favor? Opposed? And it is carried. Items 1C2, requests for a waiver from physical education graduation requirement. One student at Pacheco High School, student number 550-7795. Two students at Los Banos High School, student number 5513127, and student number 3000824, have requested a waiver from physical education. All those, motion? Second. Got a motion by Ms. Benton, seconded by Ms. Smith. All those in favor? Opposed? And it is carried. Item number 1C3, parental requests for early graduation for a San Luis High School student. And we need a motion. Martinez, second by Smith, okay? I didn't know where it came from. So, got that, Tina? Okay, all right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it is carried. And now we're in the discussion, information, and future agenda items. Anybody have anything? Seeing nothing except yawns. Sorry. Dr.
I
Marshall.
have some quick information. First, that the drone class, if we do get to that point, will be for all of our high school students. Since it's through Merced College, I wanted to make sure that you knew that part.
Okay, cool.
The second thing.
And the question, though, is that 16-year-old and older, or is that like juniors and seniors, or is it open to all 4 grade levels?
No, it'll be open all 4 grades. I was just referring to, if you are are 13 or younger, you can't operate it without an adult consent. To be 16 or older, you have to be 16 to be a professional, like your driver's license.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So we're gonna train them and get them all ready as, like we would do with the driving schools. The DMV gives the license. We can only train them.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. The other thing, I forgot to say this earlier about Lorena Velasco, Miss Bellador talked about that earlier, about they hosted a showcase for Imagine Learning. I think I put that in my December message. But another thing is that they're going to be featured on Merced County Television.
Ooh.
They'll be out filming tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure that I shared that.
Cool.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Any other discussion, information, future agenda items? If not, the next item is closed session, but we already did it and we did everything. And so we have nothing more. So next is adjournment. But before we do that, I wish everybody very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Oh, and thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Board members, don't leave.